I should have studied harder for the exam. She must have forgotten about the meeting. You could have told me the truth earlier. He might have missed the bus this morning. I shouldn't have eaten that much cake. They can't have seen us in the dark. We would have won the game if we had tried. She may have left her keys at the office. You must have been exhausted after the trip. He should have checked the weather forecast. I could have bought that house 10 years ago. They might have arrived by now. It can't have been easy for her to say no. I would have called you, but I lost my phone. She shouldn't have said those mean things. He must have been joking when he said that. You could have been hurt in the accident. They may have misunderstood my instructions. I should have listened to your advice. It might have rained while we were sleeping. She can't have finished the book already. We would have gone out if it hadn't rained. He should have apologized for his mistake. You must have seen the news this morning. I could have lent you some money if you asked. They might have gone to the wrong address. She may have changed her mind about the plan. I shouldn't have stayed up so late last night. It can't have been a ghost. It was just a shadow. He would have helped us if he had been here. You should have told the teacher about the problem. They must have spent a lot of money on that car. I could have taken the train instead of driving. She might have been sleeping when I called. He can't have stolen the money. He's honest. We would have stayed longer if we had time. You shouldn't have ignored his warning. It may have been a mistake to trust him. I should have brought an umbrella today. They must have been surprised by the party. She could have won the competition easily. He might have forgotten to lock the door. I can't have left my wallet in the taxi. We would have reached the top if it hadn't been for the wind. You should have been more careful with the vase. They may have been waiting for us for an hour. He must have worked hard to achieve this. I could have gone to the concert, but I was tired. She might have hidden the gift in the closet. It can't have been him at the store. He's in Paris. I should have taken a photo of that sunset. They would have loved the food you cooked. You shouldn't have spent all your savings. He must have been very happy to see you. I could have finished the report yesterday. She may have been busy with her children. It might have been better to wait until tomorrow. We should have booked the tickets in advance. They can't have known about the secret plan. I would have joined the club if I were younger. You must have been very brave in that situation. He should have followed the instructions. I could have become a doctor if I had studied harder. She might have seen the movie before. They may have lost the map in the forest. I shouldn't have lied to my best friend. It can't have been that expensive. We would have moved to Canada if we could have. You should have worn a warmer coat today. He must have recognized you from the photo. I could have played the piano if I had practiced. She might have been crying before we arrived. They can't have reached the summit yet. It may have been the best decision at that time. I should have said thank you to him. They would have been very disappointed with the news. You shouldn't have bought such an expensive watch. He must have forgotten his password again. I could have slept all day if I had the chance. She might have been joking about the ghost. They may have arrived at the airport by now. I shouldn't have parked my car here. It can't have been her voice on the phone. We would have visited the museum if it were open. You should have asked for a refund immediately. He must have been very tired after the marathon. I could have done it better if I had more time. She might have been dreaming when she saw that. They can't have finished the project so soon. It may have been a coincidence, but I doubt it. I should have told you how much I love you. They would have invited you if they had had your number. You shouldn't have doubted your own abilities. He must have been the one who sent the flowers. I could have been a professional athlete. She might have been waiting at the wrong gate. They may have already seen the final result. I shouldn't have forgotten her birthday. It can't have been that hard to find the house. I should have taken a map with me to the forest. She must have been very proud of her son's achievement. You could have told me that you were struggling. He might have left his phone at the restaurant. I shouldn't have been so hard on myself back then. They can't have known about the surprise party. We would have reached the station on time if we had hurried. She may have been looking for her lost cat all day. You must have felt very lonely in that big city. He should have apologized before things got worse. I could have spent my summer vacation in Hawaii. They might have been waiting for the bus for an hour. It can't have been easy to raise 3 children alone. I would have bought you a gift if I had had money. She shouldn't have trusted a stranger so easily. He must have been dreaming when he talked in his sleep. You could have asked for a discount on that coat. They may have misunderstood what I meant. I should have checked the tire pressure before the trip. It might have been better if we had stayed home. She can't have seen the ghost. It was just a dream. We would have been lost without your help. He should have been more polite to his elders. You must have been very happy when you graduated. I could have become a singer if I had had more courage. They might have been planning this for a long time. She may have already heard the news from her friend. I shouldn't have eaten that 3rd piece of pizza. It can't have been a thief. The door was still locked. He would have joined us if he hadn't been so busy. You should have told the truth from the beginning. They must have spent a fortune on their wedding. I could have taken a shortcut if I had known the area. She might have been crying because she was moved. He can't have forgotten my birthday. We are best friends. We would have stayed at the party if the music had been better. You shouldn't have ignored your doctor's advice. It may have been a mistake to sell the house. I should have brought a power bank for my phone. They must have been disappointed by the final result. She could have passed the test if she had studied. He might have been hiding a secret from us. I can't have lost my passport. I just saw it. We would have finished earlier if the internet had been faster. You should have been more careful with your words. They may have been dreaming of a white Christmas. He must have worked day and night to finish this. I could have gone to the party, but I had to work. She might have left a message on my voicemail. Learning English with this channel is a piece of cake. I'm feeling a bit under the weather today. Break a leg on your big performance tonight. I decided to call it a day and go home early. Stop beating around the bush and tell me the truth. That new smartphone cost me an arm and a leg. I hit the sack early because I was so tired. Don't worry, it's not rocket science. You hit the nail on the head with that comment. Better late than never. So thanks for coming. I'm all ears. So tell me what happened. Let's get the ball rolling on this new project. So far, so good with our 7,000 sentence challenge. It's raining cats and dogs outside right now. I'll keep an eye on your bag while you're gone. We're in the same boat. So let's work together. Don't cry over spilled milk. Just move on. I burst into tears when I heard the news. She's the apple of my eye, my dear daughter. Let's cut to the chase and talk about the price. I have butterflies in my stomach before the speech. Once in a blue moon, I go to the gym. I'm over the moon about my new job. Don't pull my leg, I know you're joking. We have to play it by ear for the weekend plans. A piece of cake is how I describe this lesson. I'm going to hit the books for my final exam. He's a couch potato who watches TV all day. You should take it with a grain of salt. I ran into an old friend at the supermarket. Let's keep in touch after the semester ends. I'm on the fence about which car to buy. Easier said than done, but I'll try my best. The secret is out. Someone spilled the beans. I'm broke, so I can't go out tonight. No pain, no gain is my motto for exercising. I'll give you a hand with those heavy bags. It's up in the air whether we will travel or not. I made up my mind to study English every day. Let's wrap it up and go grab some lunch. I was at a loss for words when I saw the view. Time flies when you are having fun. I'm fed up with this rainy weather. Hang in there. Things will get better soon. She has a heart of gold, helping everyone. I changed my mind about the color of the room. Let's call a spade and be honest. I'm in a hurry, so I have to go now. Cross your fingers for my job interview. I get a kick out of watching funny cat videos. Keep your chin up despite the difficulties. I'll look into the matter and let you know. It rings a bell, but I can't remember the name. The sky is the limit for your potential. I'm all set for the trip tomorrow. Don't lose your cool during the argument. I have a crush on my coworker. Long story short, we missed the flight. I can't help but laugh at his jokes. Make yourself at home and have a seat. I take after my father in many ways. Speak of the devil, here she comes. I burn the midnight oil to finish the report. Think outside the box for the creative task. I fell for her the moment I saw her. Get over it and start a new life. I ran out of milk this morning. Keep your eyes peeled for the exit sign. I'm dying to see the new movie. Give me a break. I've been working all day. I messed up the interview completely. Go for it and follow your dreams. I'm starving, so let's eat something. Take your time, there's no rush. I feel like going for a walk. Never mind. It's not important. I showed up late for the meeting. Good for you on winning the prize. I can't wait for the weekend to come. Believe it or not, I've never seen snow. I took a rain check on the dinner invitation. The best of both worlds is what I want. I turned down the job offer. Keep it up. You're doing a great job. I ran out of patience with him. By the way, have you seen my keys? I made a mistake in the calculation. To tell you the truth, I'm a bit nervous. I caught a cold last week. As far as I know, the meeting is at 10. I figure out how to solve the puzzle. In the long run, it will be worth it. I lost my way in the big city. Cut it out and stop making that noise. I stand by my decision. I'll play second fiddle to no one in this competition. The ball is in your court now, so make a decision. I've been feeling blue since my best friend moved away. Let's hit the road before the traffic gets heavy. I'm snowed under with work at the office this week. Don't judge a book by its cover. He's actually very kind. It's all Greek to me. I don't understand this manual at all. I finally got the hang of using this new software. Let's touch base next week to discuss the progress. He's a dark horse in this election. Nobody expected him to lead. I saw red when I found out he had lied to me. Bite your tongue before you say something you'll regret. It's on the tip of my tongue, but I can't remember her name. We need to clear the air after our big argument yesterday. I'm going to take a leap of faith and start my own business. Hold your horses. We still have plenty of time. He's back on his feet after the long illness. I'll keep you in the loop about any new developments. Laughter is the best medicine when you're feeling down. I'm walking on air because she said yes to my proposal. Let's cut corners on the decorations to save some money. I'm at the end of my rope with this noisy neighbor. It's a small world meeting you here in London. I know the ropes around here, so let me show you. The early bird catches the worm, so wake up early. I'm pulling an all-nighter to study for the final exam. Don't rock the boat while the project is going smoothly. I had a change of heart and decided to stay in Seoul. Let's start from scratch because the first plan failed. Your guess is as good as mine regarding the weather. I'm under a lot of pressure to finish this report on time. He went the extra mile to make sure the party was perfect. I caught him red-handed, stealing cookies from the jar. Don't put all your eggs in one basket when investing. I'm stuck between a rock and a hard place right now. It cost a fortune to repair my old car. I get the picture now. Thanks for explaining it. Actions speak louder than words, so show me your results. I'm all ears if you have any suggestions for the channel. Every cloud has a silver lining, so don't lose hope. I broke the ice by telling a funny joke at the meeting. Let's call it a day after we finish this 7,300th sentence. I'm over the moon that we are making such progress. I'll keep my fingers crossed for your video's success. Time is money, so let's get back to work immediately. I lost my touch at playing video games lately. The bottom line is that we need to increase our views. I'm on cloud 9 after hearing the wonderful news. Better safe than sorry, so always wear a seatbelt. I'd like to schedule a meeting to discuss the project. Could you please give us an update on the progress? We need to reach a consensus before we move forward. I'm afraid I'm not authorized to make that decision. Let's touch base again next Monday to review the results. I'll send you the minutes of the meeting by the end of the day. We are looking for a long-term partnership with your company. Can you walk me through the main points of the proposal? I think we should pivot our strategy to reach more customers. We need to cut down on unnecessary expenses this quarter. I'm looking forward to our collaboration on this venture. Could you please clarify the third point in the contract? We have a very tight deadline for this particular task. I'll put together a presentation for the board members. Let's brainstorm some creative solutions for this problem. I'll get back to you as soon as I have more information. We need to ensure that the project stays within the budget. I'd like to highlight some of our key achievements this year. Could you provide more details regarding the pricing? We are aiming to expand our market share in Southeast Asia. I'm confident that we can find a win-win solution. Let's wrap up the discussion and move on to the next item. I'll take care of the logistics for the upcoming event. We need to streamline our workflow to increase efficiency. Could you please keep me in the loop regarding this matter? I'd like to introduce our new marketing manager to the team. We should prioritize the tasks based on their urgency. I'll look into the issue and report back to you tomorrow. Let's set up a conference call with the regional directors. We need to adapt to the changing market conditions. I'm happy to inform you that the deal has been finalized. Could you please share your thoughts on this matter? We are committed to providing high-quality service to our clients. I'll be out of the office until Wednesday for a business trip. Let's focus on the core objectives of this meeting. We need to identify the potential risks before we invest. I'll follow up with the client regarding their feedback. Could you please send me the latest version of the report? We are exploring new opportunities for growth in the tech sector. I'd like to express my gratitude for your hard work. Let's keep the lines of communication open at all times. We need to align our goals with the company's vision. I'll make sure that the documents are ready for signature. Could you please explain the rationale behind this decision? We are facing some challenges with the supply chain. I'd like to propose a compromise that benefits both parties. Let's take a 10-minute break before we continue. We need to gather more data before we make a final choice. I'll handle the negotiations with the external vendors. Could you please confirm your availability for a quick chat? We are striving to improve our customer satisfaction rate. I'll send out an agenda before the next meeting starts. Let's stay focused on the task at hand. We need to allocate more resources to the research department. I'd like to welcome our new interns to the organization. Could you please summarize the main takeaways from the talk? We are aiming for a significant increase in revenue this year. I'll coordinate with the IT department to fix the problem. Let's analyze the market trends before we launch the product. We need to maintain a professional attitude at all times. I'll be in charge of the project from start to finish. Could you please provide a breakdown of the costs? We are constantly seeking ways to innovate and improve. I'd like to apologize for the delay in our response. Let's consider all the options before we decide. We need to establish a clear timeline for the project. I'll draft a formal agreement for both parties to sign. Could you please let me know if you have any questions? We are proud to be a leader in the renewable energy industry. I'll facilitate the workshop on effective communication. Let's evaluate the performance of our recent campaign. We need to foster a culture of collaboration and trust. I'll provide a comprehensive overview of the current situation. Could you please double-check the figures in the spreadsheet? We are dedicated to meeting the needs of our stakeholders. I'll be happy to assist you with any inquiries you may have. Let's work together to overcome these obstacles. We need to ensure that we are in compliance with the regulations. I'll oversee the implementation of the new policy. Could you please give me a ballpark figure for the project? We are optimistic about the future of our company. I'll represent our team at the international conference. Let's make sure everyone is on the same page. We need to leverage our strengths to gain a competitive edge. I'll conduct a survey to gather feedback from our employees. Could you please point out the main differences between them? We are focused on delivering value to our customers. I'll keep you posted on any further developments. Let's aim to finish the project ahead of schedule. We need to build strong relationships with our partners. I'll take the lead on this initiative. Could you please share your expertise with the rest of the team? We are making great strides towards our objectives. I'll do my best to ensure a smooth transition. Let's keep the momentum going until the end of the year. We need to be proactive in addressing potential issues. I'll provide you with a status report every Friday. Could you please verify the information before we publish it? We are excited about the possibilities that lie ahead. I'll have my team finalize the details by tomorrow morning. We need to think outside the box to stay ahead of the competition. I'd like to touch upon the issue of employee retention. Let's move on to the next item on the agenda. We are looking for ways to maximize our return on investment. Could you please provide a ballpark figure for the total cost? I'll take the liberty of drafting a preliminary proposal. We need to ensure that our operations are sustainable. I'd like to get your input on the new marketing campaign. Let's weigh the pros and cons of each option. We are aiming to penetrate the European market next year. I'll be in charge of coordinating the internal audit. Could you please elaborate on the technical specifications? We need to find a way to bridge the gap between our goals and reality. I'd like to congratulate the team on exceeding the sales targets. Let's not lose sight of our primary objective. We are evaluating the feasibility of the new project. I'll keep you updated on the status of the negotiations. Could you please clarify the terms and conditions of the agreement? We need to optimize our supply chain to reduce lead times. I'd like to propose a strategic alliance with your firm. Let's dive deeper into the data to identify the trends. We are committed to maintaining the highest standards of quality. I'll handle the communication with the media regarding this matter. Could you please share the key takeaways from the conference? We need to be more proactive in identifying potential threats. I'd like to introduce a new initiative to improve workplace culture. Let's set a clear timeline for the implementation phase. We are exploring the possibility of a merger or acquisition. I'll make sure that all the stakeholders are informed. Could you please provide a summary of the feedback from the clients? We need to leverage our core competencies to gain an advantage. I'd like to discuss the budget allocation for the next quarter. Let's stay focused on delivering value to our customers. We are facing some headwinds due to the economic downturn. I'll oversee the training program for the new recruits. Could you please confirm the receipt of the attached documents? We need to foster innovation at every level of the organization. I'd like to highlight the importance of cross-departmental collaboration. Let's wrap up the meeting by summarizing our next steps. We are confident in our ability to overcome these challenges. I'll provide a detailed breakdown of the project milestones. Could you please point out the potential areas for improvement? We need to align our business practices with the new regulations. I'd like to express my sincere appreciation for your dedication. Let's keep the lines of communication open and transparent. We are dedicated to building a diverse and inclusive workforce. I'll coordinate the efforts to launch the new product on time. Could you please let me know your availability for a follow-up call? We are looking forward to a long and prosperous relationship. The bottom line is that we must increase our efficiency. He is an ambitious, young man who wants to change the world. She is a versatile actress who can play any role. I try to be meticulous when I check my reports. Our team is very resilient, even in difficult situations. He has a charismatic personality that attracts everyone. She is known for being compassionate toward animals. He is a diligent student who never misses a class. I admire his persistent effort to achieve his goals. The CEO is a visionary leader with a clear plan for the future. She is a spontaneous traveler who loves sudden trips. He is resourceful enough to find a way out of any problem. My best friend is a reliable person I can always count on. She is eloquent and speaks very persuasively in meetings. He has a proactive attitude toward his work. The design of this building is sophisticated and modern. She is a sincere friend who never tells a lie. He is a humble man despite his great success. The teacher is very patient with all her students. She is a creative designer who always thinks outside the box. He is an observant person who notices small details. She has a positive outlook on life even during hard times. He is a decisive leader who makes quick choices. She is courteous to everyone she meets. The movie was intriguing from start to finish. He is knowledgeable about world history. She is a witty person who makes everyone laugh. He is assertive when expressing his opinions. The view from the mountain was breathtaking. She is a graceful dancer on the stage. He is a logical thinker who analyzes facts carefully. She is empathetic and understands others' feelings well. He is a brave soldier who fought for his country. The story was inspiring to many young people. She is a generous host who welcomes everyone. He is punctual and always arrives on time. The atmosphere in the cafe was cozy and warm. She is a talented musician who plays 5 instruments. He is a loyal employee who has worked here for 20 years. The solution they found was quite innovative. She is independent and likes to do things on her own. He is an easygoing person who doesn't get stressed easily. She is cautious when making important decisions. The child is very curious about everything. He is a responsible father who takes care of his family. She is a flexible worker who adapts to changes quickly. The landscape was picturesque, like a painting. He is optimistic about the outcome of the project. She is an energetic person who never gets tired. He is thoughtful and always considers others' needs. He is a determined leader who never gives up on his team. She is an articulate speaker who expresses her ideas clearly. I try to be impartial when I make a difficult decision. The artist has a unique style that stands out from the rest. He is a self-disciplined athlete who trains every single day. She is intuitive and can sense people's feelings easily. The museum displayed some exquisite pieces of jewelry. He is a charitable man who donates half of his income. She is a vibrant person who brings energy to the room. The teacher is very encouraging to all her students. He is an honest politician who always tells the truth. The scenery was spectacular, beyond my imagination. She is a broad-minded person who accepts different opinions. He is industrious and works harder than anyone else. The technology they developed is groundbreaking. She is considerate of others' feelings and needs. He has a jovial personality and loves to make jokes. The atmosphere at the resort was tranquil and peaceful. She is a pragmatic problem solver who focuses on results. He is adventurous and loves exploring unknown places. She is a devoted mother who puts her family first. The performance was flawless from start to finish. He is unwavering in his commitment to justice. She is a meticulous researcher who checks every fact. The village we visited was very quaint and charming. He is perceptive and notices things others might miss. She is dynamic and handles multiple tasks at once. The food at the restaurant was delectable. He is a composed person who never loses his cool. She is affectionate and loves to give hugs to her friends. The garden was lush, with green grass and colorful flowers. He is amiable and gets along with everyone he meets. She is a profound thinker who loves deep conversations. The discovery they made was significant for science. He is dauntless and faces his fears with courage. She is efficient and finishes her work ahead of schedule. The sunset was radiant, with shades of orange and pink. He is humorous and always has a funny story to tell. She is steadfast in her belief in world peace. The hotel room was spacious and very comfortable. He is diplomatic when dealing with difficult clients. She is a versatile musician who plays multiple instruments. The movie was gripping and kept me on the edge of my seat. He is generous with both his time and his money. She is refined and has very elegant manners. The explanation he gave was lucid and easy to understand. He is passionate about environmental protection. She is scrupulous and always follows the rules. The architecture of the cathedral is magnificent. He is an amiable neighbor who always says hello. She is resourceful and can fix anything with limited tools. The party was lively with music and dancing. He is tolerant of people with different backgrounds. She is diligent in her studies and always gets top marks. The experience was enlightening for everyone involved. He is charismatic and naturally leads any group. She is frank and always says exactly what she thinks. The water in the lake was crystal clear. He is orderly and keeps his desk very organized. She is stunning in her new evening gown. He is shrewd and knows how to make good business deals. The plan was feasible, and we decided to go with it. She is sociable and enjoys meeting new people. He is conscientious and takes his duties seriously. The results of the survey were favorable. She is persistent and finally achieved her dream. He is tenacious and never lets go of an opportunity. The sound of the violin was melancholic but beautiful. She is wise beyond her years. He is energetic and loves to play sports on weekends. The fabric of the shirt is breathable and light. She is sincere and truly cares about her work. He is courageous for standing up for what is right. The cake was irresistible, so I had 2 pieces. She is modest about her many accomplishments. He is rational and doesn't let emotions cloud his judgment. The mountain air was invigorating and fresh. She is dependable and always shows up on time. He is inventive and constantly comes up with new ideas. The color of the sky was azure this morning. She is balanced and knows how to manage work and life. He is bold and isn't afraid to take risks. The service at the hotel was impeccable. She is candid about her past mistakes. He is frugal and likes to save money whenever possible. The forest was mystical in the morning mist. She is kindred in spirit and understands me well. He is sturdy and can carry heavy loads. The feeling of success was exhilarating. She is patient with the children at the nursery. He is observant and remembers everyone's name. The design is minimalist, yet very functional. She is articulate, even when she is nervous. He is noble in his pursuit of truth. The wine had a mellow and smooth taste. She is unassuming, despite her high social status. He is agile and moves very quickly on the field. The response from the audience was enthusiastic. She is vigilant and always stays alert. He has an enigmatic smile that makes people curious. She is a capricious person who changes her mind often. The professor is an authoritative figure in the field of science. I found the old map in a dusty corner of the library. She is resilient, enough to bounce back from any failure. The atmosphere was gloomy because of the continuous rain. He is a meticulous accountant who never makes a mistake. She has a maternal instinct to protect everyone around her. The sunrise was ethereal, looking like something from a dream. He is obstinate and refuses to listen to anyone's advice. She is a gregarious person who loves being the center of attention. The silence in the room was uncanny and a bit scary. He is altruistic, always putting others' needs before his own. She is industrious and spends all her time on her startup. The smell of the ocean was pungent and salty. He is a stoic person who rarely shows his emotions. She is inquisitive and always asks why about everything. The building's architecture is grandiose and impressive. He is fickle when it comes to choosing a favorite food. She is a formidable opponent on the tennis court. The sound of the waterfall was deafening, yet beautiful. He is plausible in his explanation, so I believe him. She is tenacious and won't stop until she gets the job done. The task was arduous, but we managed to finish it. He is a suave man who knows how to behave in high society. She is meticulous about the way she organizes her books. The colors of the painting were vivid and full of life. He is candid about his past and hides nothing. She is scrupulous about following the safety protocols. The weather was unpredictable throughout the entire trip. He is a benign ruler who is loved by all his people. She is steadfast in her loyalty to her friends. The old castle looked melancholy under the gray sky. He is shrewd enough to see through people's lies. She is radiant in her white wedding dress. The problem was intricate and required a lot of thought. He is apathetic toward politics and never votes. She is vivacious and always the life of the party. The coffee had a robust and rich flavor. He is versatile and can adapt to any working environment. She is dauntless in the face of extreme danger. The argument he made was compelling and won the debate. He is pensive today, staring out the window for hours. She is exuberant whenever she talks about her hobbies. The trail was treacherous after the heavy snowfall. He is cordial to all the guests at the hotel. She is impervious to criticism and stays focused. The performance was sublime, leaving the audience in awe. He is vigilant in protecting his personal information. No way. I can't believe you did that. Actually, let me think about that for a second. Oh, I see what you mean now. To be honest, I wasn't really expecting that. You're kidding, right? That's amazing. I mean, it's not like I don't like it. Well, it depends on the situation, I guess. You know, I've been thinking the same thing. Exactly. You took the words right out of my mouth. Anyway, back to what I was saying earlier. Basically, we just need to finish this by Friday. Seriously? That sounds like a lot of work. I was like, what are you even talking about? Fair enough. I can understand your point. By any chance, do you have an extra pen? Believe it or not, I've never tried sushi before. Right, that makes a lot of sense. Wait, so you're saying we're going tomorrow? Oh, come on. Don't be so hard on yourself. Honestly, I don't think it's a big deal. Tell me about it. I've been so busy lately. Kind of, but it's a bit more complicated than that. Look, I'm just trying to help you out. Got it. I'll make sure to get it done. No wonder you're so tired today. Phew. That was a close call, wasn't it? I bet. That must have been a great experience. Whatever you say, I'm with you on this. Oops. I didn't mean to do that. Yikes. That looks like it's going to hurt. See? I told you it would work out. Indeed. It was a very productive meeting. Mind you, it's not going to be easy. Like I said, we should probably wait. You bet. I'll be there on time. Oh boy. This is going to be a long day. Speaking of which, have you seen my keys? Supposedly, it's going to rain this afternoon. Hopefully, everything will go according to plan. Precisely. That's the point I was trying to make. Good for you. You definitely deserved it. Man, I am so hungry right now. Guess what? I just won the lottery. No biggie. We can just do it later. I figured as much, considering the circumstances. Listen, I have something important to tell you. For real? I thought you were joking. Fair point. I hadn't thought about it that way. I suppose you're right about that. Whatsoever. It doesn't change my mind. Hang on, let me check my calendar. Cheers. Thanks for the help. Probably, but I'm not 100% sure yet. Anyway, let's get down to business. Basically, it's a win-win situation. Literally, I was so scared I couldn't move. Totally. I completely agree with you. I was like, are you for real? Well, you know how it is. So, what's the plan for tonight? I'm afraid I can't do that right now. Fortunately, no one was hurt in the accident. In fact, I've already finished the report. Basically, it's just a matter of time. Oh, well, better luck next time. Big deal. Everyone makes mistakes. Apparently, they decided to cancel the event. I was wondering if you could help me. See what I mean? It's not that easy. I'm telling you, it's going to be great. By the way, did you call your mom? Good point. Let's keep that in mind. Needless to say, we are very excited. My bad. I should have double-checked. No problem at all. Happy to help. I see. That's very interesting. Sure thing. I'll take care of it. What a shame. I was looking forward to it. No worries. Everything is under control. Long story short, we missed the flight. I'm on it. I'll do it right away. Are you serious? That's crazy. I'm kidding. Don't take it so seriously. You never know. It might actually work. Suit yourself. I'm not going to stop you. That's a relief. I was so worried. Point taken. I'll be more careful. Fingers crossed. I hope I get the job. Same here. I'm feeling the same way. Go for it. You have nothing to lose. Check this out. Isn't it cool? Not really. I'm not a big fan of it. Whatever. It's not my problem anyway. I'm with you on that one. You don't say. That's quite a surprise. Hear me out before you make a decision. Bingo. That's exactly what I was looking for. Fair enough. Let's move on. I'll say, it was an incredible performance. No way. You're pulling my leg, right? Actually, come to think of it, I did see him today. I see where you're coming from, but I disagree. To be honest, I'm not really in the mood for it. You're kidding me. That's the best news ever. I mean, it's not the end of the world, is it? Well, It's easier said than done, you know. You know, I've always wanted to say that to him. Exactly. You've hit the nail on the head. Anyway, long story short, we won the case. Basically, we're back to square one again. Seriously? I thought you were over that already. I was like, are you for real right now? Fair enough. I can't argue with that logic. By any chance, do you know where the nearest bank is? Believe it or not, I used to be very shy. Right, I'm totally on the same page as you. Wait, so you're telling me you forgot the tickets? Oh, come on. It's not as bad as it looks. Honestly, I couldn't care less about what they think. Tell me about it. I've been through the same thing. Kind of, but it's a long story, actually. Look, I'm just looking out for your best interest. Got it. I'll keep that in mind for next time. No wonder the car wouldn't start this morning. Phew. I'm so glad that's finally over. I bet. That must have been a lot of pressure. Whatever you say, I'll support your decision. Oops. I didn't mean to interrupt your conversation. Yikes. That sounds like a nightmare to deal with. See? I told you everything would work out fine. Indeed. It was a turning point in my life. Mind you, I'm not saying it was easy. Like I said, we should have left an hour ago. You bet. I wouldn't miss it for the world. Oh boy. We're in for a long night, aren't we? Speaking of which, did you ever finish that report? Supposedly, the new version is much faster. Hopefully, we can reach our goal by the end of the year. Precisely. You've captured the essence of the problem. Good for you. It's about time you got some credit. Man, I really needed this break today. Guess what? I finally got a reply from them. No biggie, we can always try again tomorrow. I figured as much, given his track record. Listen, I think we need to talk about what happened. For real? That's the craziest thing I've ever heard. Fair point. I'll take that into consideration. I suppose you have a point there. It is on the tip of my tongue, but I cannot remember it. I think you are overthinking the whole situation. Stop beating around the bush and get to the point. The atmosphere in the room was quite awkward. I can feel the tension between them right now. It was a slip of the tongue. I did not mean to say that. You need to read between the lines to understand him. I am trying to wrap my head around this new concept. It is just a gut feeling, but I think something is wrong. I cannot quite put my finger on what is different today. The news came out of the blue and surprised everyone. I am caught between a rock and a hard place. Let us not make a mountain out of a molehill. I think we are on a different page regarding this. It was a blessing in disguise that I missed the flight. I am feeling a bit under the weather this morning. You should take what he says with a grain of salt. I was caught off guard by her sudden question. It is a long shot, but we should give it a try. I am still finding my feet in this new environment. The timing could not have been better for us. I have a lot on my plate at the moment. Let us call a spade and be honest. I am at a loss for words because of your kindness. It is not my cup of tea, but I can see why people like it. I think he is just trying to save face right now. The plan backfired and made things even worse. I am starting to have second thoughts about this. It is a bit of a gray area, so be careful. I can see where you are coming from with that idea. Let us just play it by ear and see what happens. I do not want to rain on your parade, but be realistic. It is a small world meeting you here in this cafe. I am in a bit of a slump lately with my work. You hit the nail on the head with that observation. I need to clear my head before I make a decision. It is like looking for a needle in a haystack. I am just trying to keep my head above water. The joke fell flat and nobody laughed at it. I am having a hard time keeping a straight face. It is water under the bridge now, so let it go. I can relate to what you are going through. It is about time you stood up for yourself. I am on the fence about whether to go or not. You are barking up the wrong tree with that guess. It is a piece of cake once you get the hang of it. I am feeling a bit overwhelmed by all the choices. The secret is out of the bag now, unfortunately. I am just going through the motions these days. It is a double-edged sword, so consider both sides. I was under the impression that we were meeting at 5. Let us not get ahead of ourselves and take it slow. I am just trying to fit in with the new team. It is a matter of opinion, so there is no right answer. I am starting from scratch because the file was deleted. The silence was so heavy you could cut it with a knife. I am having a bit of a midlife crisis right now. It is better late than never to start a new hobby. I am just killing time until the movie starts. It is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for you. I am trying to stay out of trouble these days. It is none of my business, but are you okay? I am at the end of my rope with this noisy neighbor. It is a tough pill to swallow, but it is the truth. I am just happy to be part of the conversation. It is a far cry from what I expected it to be. I am walking on eggshells around my boss today. It is the best of both worlds if you ask me. I am slowly getting back on my feet after the flu. It is a no-brainer that we should choose this one. I am just looking for a change of pace right now. It is a bit of a stretch to say that he is a genius. I am not in the mood for any jokes today. It is a crying shame that the project was cancelled. I am keeping my fingers crossed for your success. It is a match made in heaven for those two. I am just trying to make ends meet this month. It is a sign of the times that everything is digital. I am all ears if you have a better suggestion. It is a dead end, so we need to find another way. I am just having a bit of a rough patch lately. It is a sight for sore eyes to see you again. I am feeling a bit nostalgic looking at these photos. It is a wrap for today's successful meeting. I am just following my heart on this decision. It is a textbook example of how to handle a crisis. I am keeping an eye on the situation as it develops. It is a dream come true for me to be here. I am just taking a walk down memory lane. It is a breath of fresh air to meet someone like you. I am having a blast at this wonderful party. It is a given that we will support each other. I am just trying to stay positive in this situation. It is a long story, but I will tell you later. I am at your service if you need any help. It is a tall order to finish this in one day. I am just going with the flow and not worrying. It is a wake-up call for all of us to be careful. I am just glad that we are finally on the same page. Furthermore, we need to consider the environmental impact. Nevertheless, he decided to pursue his dream against all odds. In addition to English, she is fluent in French and German. On the contrary, the new policy actually increased efficiency. Consequently, the company decided to postpone the launch. In light of recent events, we must revise our security protocols. Moreover, the project was completed well ahead of schedule. Despite the heavy rain, the outdoor concert was a huge success. Regarding the budget, we have some room for negotiation. In terms of performance, this model is superior to the previous one. Hence, it is crucial that we reach a consensus today. As a result, the stock price reached an all-time high. Notwithstanding the challenges, our team remained optimistic. In contrast to his brother, he is very outgoing and social. Likewise, the second half of the movie was just as exciting. For instance, you can use this app to track your daily habits. Alternatively, we could move the meeting to next Tuesday. Given the circumstances, I think we made the best choice. Specifically, I am referring to the third paragraph of the contract. Accordingly, all employees must follow the new guidelines. In conclusion, I would like to thank everyone for their hard work. Technically speaking, the device is still under warranty. Provided that you finish on time, you can take Friday off. In other words, we need to start from scratch. Unless we act now, the problem will only get worse. As far as I am concerned, the matter is already settled. Regardless of the outcome, I am proud of what we achieved. Even though it was expensive, it was worth every penny. In view of the high demand, we are increasing production. Suppose we fail, what would be our backup plan? Assuming that he is right, we need to change our direction. To sum up, the benefits far outweigh the risks. In the event of an emergency, please use the stairs. By and large, the feedback from customers has been positive. Strictly speaking, it is not allowed to park here. In accordance with the law, we must protect personal data. Essentially, the two products are almost identical. By the same token, we must also respect their traditions. In response to your inquiry, I am sending the requested files. In comparison with last year, our sales have grown by 20%. Taking everything into account, the trip was quite enjoyable. Otherwise, we might miss this golden opportunity. In the meantime, let us focus on our current tasks. Notably, there has been a significant shift in market trends. To some extent, I agree with your assessment of the situation. Regardless, we must proceed with the plan as scheduled. In brief, the goal is to improve customer satisfaction. Paradoxically, the more he studied, the less he felt he knew. Broadly speaking, there are two types of investors. Indeed, it was the most memorable experience of my life. In essence, we are trying to simplify the user experience. Concurrently, we are developing a new mobile application. On the whole, I think the presentation went very well. In accordance with your request, I have updated the file. Supposedly, the meeting has been rescheduled for tomorrow. Incidentally, have you had a chance to read my email? Conversely, some people prefer working in a quiet environment. In retrospect, I should have taken that job offer. To put it simply, we are running out of time. Judging by his reaction, he was clearly surprised. In particular, I enjoyed the last chapter of the book. Even if it takes all night, I will finish this report. As a matter of fact, I have already met him before. In the long run, this investment will pay off. Granted, it is a difficult task, but it is not impossible. In contrast, the second option is much more affordable. All things considered, we had a very successful year. In point of fact, the data shows a different result. Ultimately, the decision is up to the board of directors. In light of your feedback, we have made some changes. So to speak, he is the engine that drives this team. In any case, we will be there to support you. To a certain degree, everyone is responsible for this. In short, we need to work harder to reach our goals. By way of example, let me show you this chart. As it turns out, the rumors were actually true. In theory, it sounds like a perfect plan. With respect to your proposal, we need more time. In many respects, this is a significant improvement. Broadly, the strategy focuses on long-term growth. To be precise, the project will cost exactly $5 million. In view of the facts, we cannot ignore the evidence. On the basis of this report, we will take further action. In any event, the show must go on. Generally speaking, people tend to avoid risks. In the wake of the crisis, new laws were passed. As a consequence, many people lost their jobs. In spite of the difficulties, she never gave up. By comparison, this version is much more user-friendly. In plain English, we are losing money every month. With this in mind, let us move to the final stage. In many ways, you remind me of myself when I was young. To tell the truth, I am a bit nervous about the speech. In that case, we should definitely call him now. As far as I know, the deadline is still tomorrow. In conclusion, let us strive for excellence together. In the light of the 8,000th sentence, we stand proud. Moreover, our journey does not end here. Nevertheless, we have achieved something truly remarkable.